Hello and welcome to the MA's review of the week. I'm the morning advertiser's Ed Bennington, and with me today I have the fantastic Hayley Pellegrini of the Pelly Pub Company. Hayley, how are you?
I'm tired but good.
Busy times. I mean, how's things with you at the moment? How's trade?
Cambridge is kind of one of those slight anomalies. So it tends to be fairly recession proof. It kind of, has a steady flow of trade. Obviously, we have seasonal things like with the students and everything, because obviously it doesn't matter what kind of pub you are, the student population all going back off to uni, or the ones that are uni hitter and go home. It does have an impact. But it's Camera Beer Festival week this week, so there's a massive beer festival down on one of the commons, so everybody just flocks down there. Fortunately, we have a couple of pubs close by, so we get them between sessions and after session.
Fantastic. So we're taking a look at the week's news, and it's been an interesting. Certainly towards the end of the week, an interesting week. We had the announcement of a VAT cut, which is amazing. We've asked for a VAT cut. We've been banging on about this. They've given us a VAT cut on kids' meals. So, what's your reaction and take to that?
I could probably ruddle around in the bottom of my handbag and find more money than I'm actually going to save on this VAT cut. It's going to have absolutely no impact on us whatsoever. For the amount of kids' meals we do, it's so minimal. It's a joke. It really is. At least before, because they're like harping on about it's kind of like COVID, and when they were doing these reductions and everything, at least then they actually did it on soft drinks and things as well. That would have more of an impact. But stop faffing about with these temporary, because again, this isn't a permanent thing, is it? It's just a temporary measure. And it's pathetic for what they're doing. All they're doing is literally making it so that, because it's on theme parks and cinema tickets and things like that as well. So what they're actually saying is, right, as families, go out, spend money, enjoy, things like that. But actually, what about all those people that aren't families or that are on their own? And the whole thing about pubs is, particularly for single people or vulnerable people or the older clientele, it's somewhere for them to go and actually have a conversation that they might not normally get. This isn't helping them in any way.
No.
No. It's a complete joke. They need to actually reduce VAT across the board as a permanent measure. So it's
absolutely
Sorry, I ranted a bit then.
That's fine. The other thing we've seen, there's been sales figures from April being a bit disappointing. We've seen sales decline. At the same time, we've done a bit of research ourselves, and the price of a pint is going up. I mean, what's your thoughts on those kind of challenges at the moment?
Well, I think it's kind of, it all ties in as one little package. There's fewer staff on bars these days because we literally can't afford to stock the bar with staff the way we used to. So the staff you've got are working harder and, sometimes longer hours. So then it takes longer for the customers to get served. People are just having less in pubs because we're having to put our prices up to cover the overheads of things like national insurance contributions. And so then the general customer can't afford to stay and have 3 or 4 pints. They might now only be having the 2 pints and things like that. We've noticed since the cost of living crisis and things, a slight upturn in cash takings as opposed to card takings, and we put that down to kind of people saying, right, okay, well, I've got this amount of money, when it's gone I go home. Whereas, because the whole kind of tap, whether it's on your watch or your phone or with your card, it's too easy, isn't it? And you don't know what you're spending. And I think people are much more conscious about what they're actually spending now.
Yes, no, absolutely. it's not all doom and gloom. We're seeing people opening new pubs. We've got Wetherspoons about to open the largest central pub in London. We've got Anthony Pender and his group are opening a new one over in Canary Wharf. And Hayley, you've got a new pub. You have taken on a new pub as well.
Yeah, I don't know what we're thinking. We must have lost our mum. So yeah, we're up to 5 sites now. And I think this is probably going to be it, because we're very hands-on. And you know, I mean, look at me, I'm shattered. So yeah, it was a kind of a sad situation. A long-term landlord passed away. Very sadly. He was a massive part of the community. He was one of the first landlords that Steve and I met when we took on the Portland back in 2004. You know, we've been friends with him ever since. So it was really sad. It's very small, wet-led. Well, there is no kitchen, so it's completely wet. Pub, very much a community pub. And so we felt it was important to keep it like that, and not have, you know, somebody go in there and want to make their mark as such and things, because it's not broken, so it doesn't need fixing. It just needed, you know, like some new curtains and little bits like that. So, which is what we've done. We've managed to retain one of the full-time member of staff, and we're training him up as the manager. So we're keeping that continuity there and keeping that familiarity for people. And I think sometimes that's probably why people like and respect our pubs, is because we don't kind of, you know, have a brand as such of, oh, you walk in and you know it's a Pelly Pub Company pub. You walk in and every pub that we have leans into the building or what that particular site needs. I mean, like, one's a live music venue, one's a listed building. You know, they're all very, very different places. And so yeah, we're actually only on a tenancy at will at the moment with the new site, because we needed to get in and get it opened. But we have expressed that we would very much like to keep it. And so, you know, if we keep doing what we're doing, I can't see why we wouldn't be able to.
So there's confidence. Yeah, just nudge, nudge. So there's a degree of confidence there then. If you, I mean, obviously you say it's the circumstances, but you know, you want to keep this site. You're feeling confident that there's an opportunity.
Yes, yeah, definitely. It's like I say, it's something. Lawrence, the previous landlord, he did the hard work. He was the one that actually built that pub and created the environment it is. We would very much like to lean into that and build on that, and keep that going, partly in honor of him, but also actually because we know the pub, we love the pub, and it's an important part of Cambridge. And I think that is sometimes something, because we all get, and we're business people at the end of the day, and all of us multi-site operators get so bogged down in the bottom line and looking at the figures, and you know, we spend more time in the office than we'd probably like to. We'd like to be out at the sites more often, but sometimes you have to stop and, you know, look and think, right, well, actually the reason we do this is because we care. We care about the local community, we care about the customers, we care about our towns, and we want to create places where people are comfortable. One of our, it's a really minor thing, but one of our philosophies of any of our pubs is it has to feel comfortable for a woman to go into on her own. And if we can create that, then we can create it so anyone can go in on their own, obviously over 18s. Yeah. And that's kind of the little things like that, you know, it's creating that environment and making them welcoming, making them safe. So, yeah.
Absolutely. Brilliant. Well, we're out of time, Hayley, but thank you for that. Some great thoughts there. Good luck with the new site, and we'll catch up soon.
Thank you very much. Bye.
Well, There you go. So community is vital, and it's great to hear operators expanding. We will be back next week with some more thoughts from operators on the week's news. Until then, keep putting those pints.